there hasn't been not one suggestion this man is a bad man. Not at all. But Judge, what he did was make a bad decision. And that decision was a deliberate, conscious decision to move up to an elevated position and jump on a hood and kill Melissa Williams and Timothy Williams. Timothy Russell and Melissa Williams, Judge. They were surrounded. They were surrounded. There was nowhere to go. Brelo knew that. He heard that from Sergeant Coleman. They're trapped. There's no way to go. There's no way out. Okay? And so what happens? Officer Brelo comes in. This Malibu pulls up. After hearing shots back here from Officer Diaz, which, again, Judge, I'm going to try to stay to the facts that were in evidence. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what Officer Diaz said or didn't say, because he wasn't here. But the facts show that Officer Brelo came here, got out of his car, shot out of his car. That's reasonable. That's fine. Saw the car hit, moved to the back of the trunk, elevated his position, then jumped on a hood and shot 15 times into that windshield at point blank range at the victims. Point blank. But Judge, I think what happens after this is so important because, Judge, you heard the audio. There's a pause. There is a distinct pause before we have that other volley. Why is there a distinct pause? Because everybody saw him on the hood and stopped shooting. And I'm telling you, Judge, when that happened, when all those people stopped shooting, I'm sure these police officers are going, holy mackerel, one of ours is on the hood. And that's not good. Now, Judge, there was no gun. We can probably all agree on that. There was never a gun. But those officers at that point in time knew getting up on the hood, too much. On the trunk and then the hood, way, way too much. In fact, Mr. Caceres said, if he stayed behind here shooting, that would be okay. And we wouldn't be here if that happened.
Why would it be okay?
Because he was in a position of enhanced safety by Mr. Martinelli behind cover. And
what would have given him the right to shoot from a position of enhanced safety?
His perception, Judge, of gunfire coming from this way. So if he had stayed behind here, of enhanced cover, okay, and this is what I'm going to get at, Judge, and this is one of the main issues of the case that you have to decide. No doubt about it. Why was it unreasonable for him to jump on the trunk and then the hood? What would an objectively reasonable police officer do in that situation? And I submit to this court, you can bring 100 police officers in here, you can bring 1,000 police officers in here, and everyone's going to tell you, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here. So what did Officer Brelo say why he did that? Based upon his military training to move up, elevate, and push through a target. His civilian training did not come into effect. We're asking our officers, based upon their training, not to be compelled by fear to kill people when there's other reasonable, objectively reasonable options available to you. And there was. He wanted to kill. There's no more evidence, Judge, of wanting to kill than when Officer Cibola came up and showed you what he was doing. But we're talking about point blank transitioning into a windshield. That's the kill. But I want to reiterate something to you, Judge. When you're evaluating this reasonableness, think about the reasons he said why he did that. And they're unreasonable. Think about the fact that he had a reasonable option. And he had time to do that. He had time to make that decision. But he had a subjective compulsion to eliminate that threat based upon his military experience. That's basically what happened here. He even admitted it. Elevate, push through, eliminate the threat. Not stand back, assess, and neutralize. So Judge, as a county prosecutor, assistant county prosecutor, we speak for the victims. I see family from Melissa Williams and Timothy Russell in the back. They can't speak. So I'm the one that has to speak for them. Just imagine for 1 second, Judge, for 1 second, put yourself in the front seat of that Malibu and the absolute horror that they experienced in the last moments of their life by seeing a police officer on their hood shooting them point blank. I don't think anybody would want to experience that. Anybody. Judge, you've heard a lot of things over the last 4 weeks. But what I plead to you, when you evaluate all this evidence, and you use your common sense, and you make the reasonable common sense inferences, you will find that Officer Brelo did not act reasonably when he got on the trunk, especially on the hood, and emptied the last 15 shots into those trapped victims. You will find beyond a reasonable doubt all the elements of voluntary manslaughter has been met.